welcome back to the program. You're watching Morning Thailand with Phi and Golf. And like I promised, a little bit more information on yesterday upper and lower house meeting. Now, of course, this particular meeting was called for by the government because they were having or inviting key figures that involved in the ICJ's ruling, or at least hear the verdict at The Hague, to come in and explain, or at least giving a little bit more clarification in terms of the ICJ's verdict to the rest of the houses, both upper and lower. And they say that yesterday, starting early in the morning, 6:30 a.m., Kun Virachai Plasai, the ambassador to the Thai ambassador to The Hague in the Netherlands, got back to the Thailand, and at 9:30 he went to pay a visit to the Prime Minister, and Prime Minister thanks him for all his hard work as well as his team, and pretty much praise him for the verdicts and what he has done. And he said that he would like to thank all the parties that providing him a chance to be part of this historical event as well. Now, moving on, later on, they say that Kun Nopadon Pathama has also came out. He was the former foreign minister, came out and praised this particular decision to have Kun Virachai Prasai be part of the event as well, saying that they both did a good job. Now, Kun Surapong Tawichak Chaikun, the current former minister, foreign minister, also talking about the fact that there's a 40 senator group that came out opposing the fact that the government called for this particular meeting, the joint meeting, using Article 179 of the amendment of the Constitution to actually said, because 179 articles actually only used if the government wants advices from the houses, both MPs as well as senators. However, the 40 senator group seems to think, or at least they argue, that in this particular case, if they're going to hear about the ICJ ruling, it should use Article 190 that has been, in question at this time of fixing in terms of, because they say that it's involved foreign contract, right? So it should use 190 instead of 179. However, there was a little bit of a fight over that. Obviously, the government tried to make a case that at this time they are not going to say whether or not they accept it, but they are just hearing about it and probably wanting advice. They're not going to do anything about it until later on, because they say that this particular meeting is just held so that the MPs as well as senators could be able to give at least some advices to the government, and that's prior to going to talk to the Cambodian side and perhaps try to find the negotiation or a mutual ground on this, and that's the 40 senator group that submitted the request. Now, they say that yesterday, starting at about 1 p.m., there's a little bit of skirmishes, because despite the fact that the government has already said that there should be a meeting over this, a few of the Democrat parties or the opposition MPs were actually voiced their concerns that the Prime Minister wasn't there at the time. However, they say that to move this particular meeting to the later date, but the Prime Minister were able to join them later on, and the meeting move on. But overall, they say that at this point there has been a request already that the joint meeting between Cambodian and Thai side will not have any decision made before all the public will get to hear about it, because Kun Surapong Tawichak Kun assured the rest of the House, saying that yes, they will go with 190 requirements, and they say that prior to any decision made with Cambodia on this particular case, there will be a public hearings.
Oh, and the Prime Minister assures as well that they will seek a parliamentary approval before making any agreements with the Cambodian side. That's good because people are now concerned about the Article 190.
Pretty much asking Kun Surapong Tawichakchaikun, the Foreign Minister, to say,
for the assurance.
Could you reassure that, could you say it, that you will actually have public hearing before you make any decision. So it's quite interesting.
Wait and see, because Kun Virachai also said that he didn't want people, the public, to assume that Thailand lost their territory until the discussion or negotiation has been held with the Cambodian side. Now, moving on to just quickly here, the anticipation, as I said, ahead of the Constitution Court's plan to deliver a ruling on the Charter Amendment on senators' qualification and selection, which is scheduled on November the 20th.
Right.
Earlier, the Democrat MP and some senators had filed petition to the Constitution Court asking them to rule on the constitutionality or legality of the 312 MPs and senators of the Pheu Thai faction who voted to support the amendment, the Charter Amendment, and that whether that violate Article 68 of the Constitution, and the court is expected to deliver the ruling on the 20th. However, there's a lot of people who came out and expressed the opinions. One academics here, Kun Yutthaporn Isarachai, the Dean of Faculty of Political Science of Sukhothai Thammathirat, said that the ruling on the 20th, he thinks it was too soon because it would affect a lot of political situation here in Thailand, while another one, Kun Sirot Klampaiboon, an academic on political science, said that the ruling of the court will obviously change the momentum of political power and also the political players as well, because if the Constitution Court rule that 312 MPs and senators violate Article 68 of the Constitution, they will be stripped of MP posts, a political post, and also the Pheu Thai party could be dissolved. That would mean the Pheu Thai will lose the majority in the House, and their party might be banned from politics for 5 years. So that's the situation that we have to keep a close watch on, because that would, as he said, that would change the momentum and direction of the Thai politics as a whole.
Yeah, because what we have right now is not complicated enough, apparently. All right. Well, with that, we're going to take a short break, but Kun Chen will come back talking a little bit in terms of a research that has been done by the TDRI themselves, and talking about ways to at least fix the situation at this time. I'm not quite sure, which way and whether or not that's going to even be possible, but please stay tuned.